Hi everybody. This is Mental Health Awareness Month for Select Health and Intermountain Health and Live Well. And I wanted to share this practice with you to encourage the expression of feelings. So our culture has a tendency to resist expressing feelings. And sometimes that comes in the form of resisting doing things specific to help ourselves because we tend to tell ourselves that we shouldn't feel a particular way. And I want to invite you to consider the effects of expressing feelings on your neuropathways. So your neuropathways very literally shift when you express, not just internally or not just writing in a journal, but actually express them outwardly to someone. Tara Brock is a clinical psychologist and meditation teacher, and she just recently did a great workshop on the importance of expressing your feelings and working with your feelings. When you express your feelings, no matter what they are, then you move from your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, or freeze, into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. And so as we enable ourselves to express those feelings and move from one part of our nervous system to another, then we are very literally changing our brain, which is a lovely thing. We all have this ability. We have neuroplasticity. We have this ability to shift what's going on in our brain and the way we see things. And the only way to shift is to express, because expressing it helps the physical shift in the body, the physical shift of the mindset, and stops you from clinging to this thing in your body. And so oftentimes it's our hips that hold on to the situations, the feelings, the frustrations, the hardships, or even the good things. And so when we shift and move through our hips, we can start to break up some of those things that we're holding on to and maybe start to tune into specific feelings. Feelings show up in the body. They show up maybe as a tightness in the chest, maybe as a tension in your head, maybe as something in your shoulders, or something in your gut. And so putting a name to that is really beneficial. Sometimes when I feel something in my chest, I can say, I feel anxious, or I feel frustrated, or I feel scared, okay? So right now, take a comfortable seat and take a moment with your hands resting down to tune into a full breath. And as you watch your breath move through your body, notice it move in and out. And notice any specific sensations that begin to show up in the body. If you'd like to, you could speak a feeling out loud. Or if you're not sure, just notice the sensation, the physical sensation that's present. Then connect palms together at your heart and tune into an intention of listening to the sensations that come up in your body. And maybe not today, but soon in the near future, giving yourself that permission to give a feeling, naming what it is. Take a deep inhale and sit taller. Exhale and bow toward your heart. As you softly open your eyes, release your hands down and take a moment with your hands at your legs, wherever is comfortable, to start to move through your pelvis. a little tilt forward and back. And as you tilt forward and back with your pelvis, you can notice for yourself if there's any spot that feels a little bit sticky, or if it's just hardly moving, or if it's moving a lot. Whatever sensation is showing up for you, notice, what does it feel like in your body? And now move that even further up your spine and start to tilt your pelvis forward and back and allow your whole torso to move, cat and cow. Inhale to expand your heart forward and exhale to press back. And then inhale, sit tall, shift the sides with your legs, cross them the other way if you're sitting cross-legged, and then shift your sitting bones. And now hands to your hips, and this time we're going to do little circles. And as you do little circles with your pelvis and your low back, just notice for yourself any places that might feel stuck or stiff. Notice if you have a big circle going or a little circle going, not with any kind of judgment, just a noticing of what's present for sensation. And now switch directions with your circles. And with this, just to make a note for you, you can always do this part of it in a seat. You can actually sit in a chair if you want. You don't have to be sitting on the floor, especially if that's tough on the knees or tough on the hips or low back. Okay. And then come back into center, and now this time hands out to your knees. We'll do a little bit of gentle twist. As you exhale, draw your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back. Inhale, come back into center, and exhale, left shoulder forward. Inhale to center, and keep moving with your breath to each side a couple more times. And as you move, just notice, does one side feel a little bit more open? Or do they feel pretty similar? Or is there a sensation of any kind in the body? Notice what it is. And come back into center, and now bring your feet to the floor out in front of you. And as you bring your feet to the floor, just notice the contact of your feet on the floor and how it feels. Even from right here, maybe your feet, I don't know if you can see, my feet are on the wood floor, not on my mat. And so that feels cool. It's a very obvious sensation. With hands at your knees, start again to move through your spine. Inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, press your spine back. Just recognize for yourself what it is for you. What are the sensations that are present? Is there a particular sensation that you're noticing through your hips, your low back, your spine, anywhere in the body? One more breath. And now you're going to extend your legs as far forward as you need to cross left ankle over your right knee. And that might be all the way extended with your right leg. Or you might pull your right foot in so you have a bent knee. If that makes your low back round or your upper back round, then push your foot further out, or even take your hands behind you to help you sit tall. So all the way from your pelvis, think of trying to tilt your pelvis forward so your belly's coming forward. Flex your left foot, and then do gentle windshield wipers, side to side here. And that might be big movements for you, and that might be little movements for you. But the goal is gentle for your body right now, and listening to the sensations that are present. I know for me, I have some big sensations through the glutes right now. So notice what that is for you. And then as you come back into center, switch the cross. And again, if you need to or would like to, then you're going to extend your left leg all the way out straight and cross your left or your right ankle over your left knee. Okay? If you want, you can pull your foot in a little ways, or you can do this whole movement with your leg extended. Okay? Your choice. But flex your right foot, find a tall, tall spine, take a big breath. And then slowly start that movement here, starting to get into your hips. And notice, is the sensation different on this side? Is it the same? Notice if there's a different spot in your body that you're feeling sensation. And remember that you're going to that place that is gentle for you, right? So gentle might still be deep, or gentle might be little movements. What is it for you? Just let yourself experience it. And then as you come back into center here, go ahead and put both feet on the floor. Hands come back behind you so you're resting back. Walk your feet out wider than your mat, and then drop your knees side to side. And as you drop your knees side to side, this can be a really big motion or it can be a little motion, right? So it could just be this, or it can be this. Big thing is to notice for yourself what the sensations are, what the feelings are in the body here. And with this one in particular, you might even check in with the knees and make sure that you're not going too far for your knee joint. Then back into center. Now we're going to come around to our hands and knees. And if being on hands and knees is tricky, feel free to add a blanket underneath your knees, or even take this motion sitting up instead. So from your hands and knees, as you set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, I'm going to take sweatshirt off so you can see my arms. Rotate your upper arm bones so your elbow pits are turning forward. And now move through your cat and cow here. Inhaling, you're tilting your sitting bones up, expanding and lifting your heart. Exhaling, you're rounding your spine upward. Inhale, belly toward the ground. Exhale, belly lifts. 2 more deep breaths. Then inhale, come back to a neutral place with your spine and step your right foot forward in between your hands. And from this place, blocks underneath your hands. If your back knee down bothers you here, feel free to lift it up, okay? Our goal is to get into our hips and notice, be aware of the sensations. So also be aware of the sensations through your knees, right? As you center off your hips, drawing your right hip crease back in space, bend deeper into your front knee and extend your heart. Full big breath. And now again, either knee down or up. Inhale, bring your hands up to your hips and start to rise. Starts to get into that longest hip flexor in the body, your psoas or your iliopsoas. And as you get into this, you're going to center off your hips again and lift your chest and lift your heart, lift your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. But now pause and draw your low belly and your low ribs in. Inhale, shoulders up and back. Press down with your knee behind you so you actually have a little lift through your upper thigh, but then bend deeper into your front knee joint. On your exhale, bring both hands down to the front of your mat. Walk your hands to the inside, and from here, heel toe your front foot out to the right side. Knee and toes in the same direction. Your back knee, you can always adjust if it's down. You can have your knee lifted here, okay? From here, work down toward one elbow or two, or stay up high. Tune into the sensations that are present and make the choice for your body that's compassionate and kind. Choose that for yourself. Push your big toe mound down in on your front foot and wrap your right glute down and under. Your knee will turn a little bit more out to the right when you do that. Take a big deep breath. Good. Inhale, rise back up to your hands And settle back onto your hands and your knees. And as you find your hands and knees again, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And if you're on your knees here and it just doesn't feel good to your knees, walk them back a little ways. Sometimes that helps. It ends up being a modified plank pose, really. But you can still do the motion from that modified plank pose. So now side to side sway with your hips. This time we're getting into some of the outside edges of our hips and the outside edges of our legs. And then as you come back into center, step your left foot forward in between your hands. And again, blocks are always available for you if you would like. Your back knee can be down or up. Wrap your left hip back and then bend deeper into your front knee. Take a big deep breath right here. And again, notice that action of pushing your back knee down to help your upper inner thigh lift. Take a deep, full breath. Now, as you bring your hands up to your hips, again, draw your left hip crease back, rotate your outer right hip forward, but then push down with your back knee and let your hip be lifted a little. Then bend deeper into your front knee and start to lift your chest, lift your heart. Notice the length from your low back ribs all the way through your hip and thigh. Big, full inhale, long, deep exhale. Now tone your low belly and your low ribs. Inhale, shoulders up and back, long back of your neck. Exhale, low belly, low ribs engage. Next exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. You're finding blocks here if that works for your body. Work your hands to the inside, heel toe your front foot out to the left. Your toe and knees are in the same direction, but then push, big toe mound down, and wrap your left glute down and under so your knee is going to turn more to the left. Push your back knee down so your upper thigh lifts a little, then extend your heart. From there, work down as low as your body is ready for and take some deep breaths. Recognize the sensations on this side. How does this feel? What's an I feel statement that you might make to yourself right now? I feel tired. I feel stiff and tight. Whatever it happens to be, maybe give a name to it right now. The more we practice with maybe things that aren't quite as important, the easier it gets to express them during times when it is important. Take one more big breath. And then gently rise up to your hands and shift back onto hands and knees. And from here, take hips back as far as your body is ready for into your child's pose and settle your head down. Take a full breath. Let's let go of that concept of holding in our feelings. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhaling, rise to hands and knees. You have your choice. We're going to step forward into our forward fold. So you can step forward from here, or you can lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog to step forward. Your choice. And as you come forward into your fold, find blocks if you would like to for your hands, and that can be anything from actual yoga blocks to a stack of books or a stool. Inhale and lengthen part way. Extend your heart, send your sitting bones up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Hands to hips, pressing your hips back. Start to draw your shoulders up and back, squeeze your glutes, and inhale, rise, coming all the way up to standing. And now from this place, we're going to take a balance. So feel free to utilize a wall if you want to. That's always an option. Find your balance onto your left foot. Turn your right toes sideways so your knee is opening up, using your glute medius and your piriformis, that little tight hip flexor underneath all your glutes, to open it up. And then bring your foot wherever you need on the side of your leg. It can be up high, it can be down low, it can stay a kickstand. The only place you don't get to rest it is right against the knee joint, okay? So find where that is for you. Reopen your knee. And then standing knee, give it a bend. Squeeze your glute and push into the floor. Lift your chest, lift your heart. And then from here, gratitude arms, opening up through your chest here. Open up by drawing your thumbs back, rotating your arm bones. Take a full big breath and engage low belly, low glutes. Inhale, lift your chest even higher. Exhale, now low ribs in. Take one more deep breath. Find that point to focus on that doesn't move. And then set. Both feet on the ground, hands come together at your heart. Pause with closed eyes if that feels good to your body, and tune into what you're feeling. Tune into actual sensations. Tune into a feeling word. I feel strong. I feel happy. Whatever it is, take a deep breath. And then softly open your eyes and shift your weight over to your right foot. Turn your left toes sideways. Your knee is opening up, right? Finding that access through your glute and your piriformis. And then bring your foot wherever you need to on the side of your leg, or keep a kickstand. It's always a nice option, especially if today you notice, oh, here's where I am today with my balance. I'm a little wobbly, so I'm going to be really kind and compassionate to myself. Right? So notice what's present. Then bend your standing knee, squeeze your glute, and push into the floor to stand taller. Gratitude arms. As you open up through your heart space here, this is one of the poses, or this is one of the arm positions that I find helps me to be able to tune internally all the way through my body and notice the sensations. So from right here, this open through your heart, notice all the way through your body. Notice the sensations that are present and how you feel. Good. One more deep breath. Lift up even taller. Open and expand. And then exhale. Hands come together at your heart. Your foot comes back to the ground. And then shake it out. Bend one knee at a time. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. And exhale, fold. And in this fold, bend your knees as much as you need. Or if folding is really tough on your low back, then come up to hands on your knees. Take a moment to move around a little bit in whatever variation of fold you're doing, and notice the sensations that are present. Notice what it feels like to be here. Then on your exhale, fold over your legs. Plant your fingertips, and you're going to step right foot back into your lunge. Turn to plant your right heel so that your foot's parallel to the back of your mat, and inhale, rise up to your warrior two. Strong hip opener here. You're turning your front knee open, utilizing that glute medius and piriformis action. So your knee will turn toward the pinky toe edge. Lift your arms up high, and then draw shoulder blades onto your back as you settle deeper into your front knee. Take a big breath, and for a moment, as you breathe, even and calm your breath. And now recognize for yourself where you're working in your body. Notice it, and remember that fight or flight place, the sympathetic nervous system, can be changed by bringing a feeling to it. So notice how it feels. Let your eyes soften. And then notice how you can soften in your body without losing the hold of the pose. On your exhale, bring both hands down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Next exhale, step left foot back into your lunge, turn and plant your back heel, and inhale, rise up to your warrior two. Take the time, notice the opening of that front knee, settle into it, lift your heart. Take a big deep breath right here and lift shoulders up a little higher. This is how we access that engagement of shoulder blades. So draw shoulder blades in, take a full breath. And if it feels okay to you, you can always close your eyes here to tune into your body and notice what's going on for you. Be present with whatever sensations are coming up, and maybe even put a feeling to it. On your exhale, bring both hands down to the front of your mat. Plant them and step all the way back to a downward facing dog pose or hands and knees if this is a lot today. Take a big deep inhale, tilt sitting bones up. Long full exhale, rotate your upper arm bones. Elbow pits turn forward. Then lower down to your knees, push your hips back toward your heels, take a child's pose. And then inhale, gently bring yourself up to your seat and come all the way down to sitting bones. And so now we're going to take a little fold in sort of a modified pigeon pose, but it's actually called deer pose. So bending your knees, you have your right knee bent and straight ahead, heel in toward your groin. Left knee bends, it can be out to the side or it can be back, okay? And if either one of your knees bending doesn't work, then extend them out straight, okay? And you can just sit upright with legs extended. You can always sit upright here, okay? So wherever that is for you, press fingertips down beside you, lift your ribs, and if it's in your practice, if it feels good, you're gonna fold toward your front leg. And from here, you can always set your forehead down on a prop. Take a couple big breaths and just give yourself the chance to feel what's going on inside. Feel the sensations. Feel whatever emotions might be coming up. Oftentimes when we do a lot of hip opening, we tend to experience more emotion. And it is all okay. Feel all the feels. Notice and recognize them. And especially recognize that if you do feel all the feels, if you let yourself do that, then that's the first step in working through some of those feelings, some of those emotions, some of what's stuck. Sometimes it's not a pretty thing. Sometimes it feels rather icky. But if you allow yourself to do it, then you get through the icky. Yeah, that's my technical term. Inhale, rise all the way back up, and then bring both feet out in front. And then you're bending your left knee so that your heel is in toward your groin. Knee straight ahead toward the front of your mat. Right leg comes back or it extends. You decide what's the best for your body here. If you bring it back, it can either be straight to the side or it can be a little bit back behind you if that feels even better to you. Okay, so you decide. And then press your fingertips down, lift your ribs, and start to recline over your front leg. And then again, notice for yourself, this side might feel different. For me, my glute on this side is a lot tighter, so I might just stay up higher. I get to notice what the sensations are and take the compassionate actions for myself to be able to be present, right? So even if things are intense, if we stay present instead of trying to escape, right? Instead of escaping to your happy place, your villa in Tuscany, or whatever it happens to be, the mountains, if you stay with it, then you can notice what starts to shift. You can notice the feelings. You can do the work, right? This is how you're able to work through the stuck stuff. So notice. And if you're saying to yourself, nope, it's too intense today, then maybe you come back again to it another day and try again, right? A little bit of work goes a long way. Take a big breath. And then inhale, gently bring yourself back up to your seat. And now we're going to lay all the way down onto our backs. Make sure that you have a pillow or bolster handy. And all your props for when you're ready to rest in Shavasana. But we will get a little bit more into our long hip flexor, our psoas. Footprints to the floor. And then walk them out wide for a moment and just take a couple windshield wipers. This is a favorite of mine because this very literally is moving, almost massaging through the nerves that go through your spine. And so it resets the nervous system and it gets into many hip flexors, into your quads, sometimes into your low back muscles. And then back into center with your knees. And then grab your pillow or bolster. And lift your hips up and slip your bolster underneath. And then walk your legs out if that's in your practice. This gets a little bit more into that hip flexor. However, if it's really intense anywhere in the body, tune into that sensation and maybe adjust to pulling your feet in, or even adjust to putting a blanket underneath you instead of your bolster. Take a full big breath, finding where it feels the best to your body. If you'd like, you can even reach your arms overhead. If you'd like, you can close your eyes and be here for 5 or 6 more deep breaths. And now you can stay right where you are if you would like to, or work your feet in and slip your bolster or pillow down underneath your legs. Maybe you set a blanket over the top of you. Start to find your way to a resting pose that helps you to be able to tune in and notice the sensations that are present. Find a full but soft breath. Scan through your body and recognize whatever is showing up. Both hands to your heart, or one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And as you take a deeper breath, notice for yourself whatever sensation is showing up in your body. And then give yourself an I feel statement. With that I feel statement, gently bend your knees and roll over to your side. And say that I feel statement to yourself. And then gently push yourself up to your seat. Hands come together at your heart. Honor yourself for taking this time to tune into your feelings, to tune into your body and the sensations that are present. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.